Alright, today guys, I went ahead and mounted the rear wheel to the tire with the new inner tube and everything. I'm not going to show you how to do that because I showed you how to do that on the front wheel and it's pretty much the same exact thing. What I am going to show you is how to lube the rear assembly and change the gear oil. Alright, so a few things that you're going to need. You need some gear oil. I chose the Royal Purple 75 140 weight. All you need is a quart of it. Honestly, that probably takes about 6-7 ounces, 8 ounces maybe at the max, so you don't need a whole lot of it. And then you need some Moly lube. This is what I picked up. Valvoline's and powerful synthetic grease. And you can get this at Advanced Auto Parts. That's where I got this. It was like $7, and the Royal Purple stuff was about 20. You're gonna need a torque wrench. You're gonna need some sockets. These bolts right here are a 14. The axle nut is a 19. So you're going to need that when you put it in. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take these 4 bolts off. And we're going to go ahead and lube the spline in here. We're going to lube the spline there. And then we're going to lube what's on the bike that actually connects to the transmission. We're going to turn it over. We're going to lube here in the actual gear assembly. And then we'll put it back on the wheel, put it back on the bike. And once you put it back on the bike, then I'm actually going to change the gear oil out here. That right there is 17 millimeters, and that's 17 millimeters. We'll crack this open, we'll drain this out here, and then we'll get it going. Alright, so once they're back on, you're going to use your torque wrench, and we're going to tighten those up to 51 foot-pounds of torque. I'm going to give you the specs and a link down below so you can see all the torque specs. Alright, so now that we put the rear drive back onto the wheel, tighten it up. We're going to put it back in. I'm going to lube up this area, this last area here, and then the last area on the bike. See if I can zoom into it. Right there, see that little hole right above my finger there? That's where the shaft goes in, so we're going to lube that up as well, and then we'll change the final drive oil. Alright, so now that the rear wheel is back on, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out here. So the rear wheel is back on. So this is a 17, and down here is a 17. And the one cool thing, when you get a torque wrench, 17 foot-pounds of torque, so it's easy to remember. Alright, so that's going to sit there and drain out. Now I don't know when the last time this fluid has been changed. I don't know what color it's supposed to be, but it's pretty thick. So I do recommend anytime that you change your tires and change your inner tube that you change your rear shaft oil, and then you always lube up your assemblies. Alright, so now one thing about these bolts, when you take them off, the exact same bolts that come off the top and come off the bottom, so if you get them mixed up, it's okay. Remember, 17 foot-pounds of torque. Alright, so when you fill it up in this hole, you want to make sure that the oil goes right to the beginning of the spines there, the threads. I don't know exactly how much, but as soon as you see it touch those spines, you're good to go. And then tighten it back up, 17 foot-pounds of torque. Alright, new tire's mounted. Now one thing I will tell you, make sure that you do the alignment. Okay, this right here should be the same size all the way around, and it is on mine. I don't have to shim it, so thank God. But if it's not, make sure you follow the shimming processes. And then I will go ahead and put that link down at the bottom so you can take a look at it.